maybe the thing you're most scared of is exactly what you should do.
I love what I do still. I have passion for it.
Whatever it was, I just tried to dominate it.
In a place I've always been trying to get to.
My mom had this book when I was a little girl. You would put your school picture, it would ask you the same 5 questions every year. One of the questions was, what do you want to be when you grow up? So in kindergarten, I said I wanted to be a cowgirl. And then in 4th, 5th, and every grade after, it said actress. My name is Jamie Lynn Sigler. Jamie, if you know me well. And I'm an actor. My very first audition ever, it's for Lemz on Broadway for Little Cosette. I remember I went into the city, we were waiting in the waiting room, and all these girls had their black and white 8x10s, and I was like, Mom, I need a picture, like, what do I do? So she pulls out like a wallet-sized school photo of me and gives it to me. When you play a kid on Broadway, you have to be under a certain height because the shorter you are, the longer they can keep you in the show. And so I was too tall, which ended up being a story for me for a lot of auditions that I went on. I think the benefit that I had of starting at a young age is that when you're a kid actor, you're strictly on instinct. You're not vain, you're just a kid. And so you know everybody's lines, you know the whole play or show inside out, and you're just in it, and you just react. Can I make my color choices?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. I want to do 2 different blues. I remember there was a time that I would say to my parents, like, oh, can you put me in the professional children's school in Manhattan? You know, I just want to be around all the showbiz kids, and they were just very adamant that to stay. And I played softball, I played tennis, I was on all the sports teams and did my plays on the weekend at the little community theater. So I'm very, very grateful for that because I was able to just have so many different types of social experiences and emotions. I was 16 when we shot the pilot, and then when we actually started the first season, I was 17. That was really my first experience on a set of any sort. And I remember when my first day of work, I showed up and my stand-in was rehearsing, and I started crying because I thought maybe I was still auditioning because there was a girl that looked like me that was like the same height doing my scene. I couldn't appreciate or really understand the level of quality. And it was funny because I remember when I started auditioning for other things, like in between seasons or afterwards, and I'm trying to read these lines and do these auditions, and I'm like, I feel like I'm a bad actor. And then I was like, oh, it's just not as good of writing. David Chase and all the writers were amazing.
Do you remember the first time you really had your heart set on playing a part and you didn't get it?
There's plenty of times that I get rejection now. There was only a couple of pilot seasons ago that I was really, really close to this sitcom that I loved so, so much. And there was just one person at the network that it was for that was like, I don't get it. I don't think she's that funny. And then so it ended up becoming my focus then that I had to get on a comedy. So here I am.
At what age did you realize that just being a working actor was a tremendous accomplishment?
When I moved out here to LA.
Really?
When Sopranos was done. Yeah. I didn't have the job to go back to, and I was actually waiting to see when I was gonna work again. But I think the longer that I've been in this business, every role is for somebody, and your role is only for you, and it'll find you. And just stay on top of your game and be prepared for when it comes, because all that worrying and stuff is just such a waste of time.